Hello, Professor Marcel Jar. I am Antonio, and I will be showing you how to install Fedora 24 workstation on a virtual machine. First of all, you will need to be able to direct yourself to the Virtualbox link in order to download it. In this case, we used a 5.1 version, and as you can see, I select the x86 version. Once this downloads, you also need to download the 24 version of Fedora, which is also provided. I will get back to you as soon as these are downloaded. Once the two downloads are completed, you do want to locate them. They are going to be located under the download section. If you go by date modified, they should be the last two software applications downloaded. First of all, you want to start off by downloading Virtualbox. If you open it up, you should be prompted by the wizard. By starting the wizard, you just want to continue by pressing next, install, and finish. As the Virtualbox is installing, you want to move your Fedora workstation file to somewhere where you will remember how to access it. In this case, I just moved it to my desktop. Once the installation is completed, you can go ahead by pressing finish and the application should open up. Now you will be prompted by the Virtual Machine Manager. You want to start off by pressing in the top left hand corner the New button. This is where you want to name your actual virtual machine. In my case, I named it VM1 OPS105. By types, you want to select Linux, and by versions, I selected Fedora 32-bit. In my case, the 64-bit did not work, so I had to download the 32-bit version of Fedora Workstation. Then you can continue on by pressing next. Here is where you are going to be able to allocate how much RAM you want on your system. For our requirements, we are told to have 2 gigabytes, so that is 2000 megabytes. You can continue by pressing next. In this case, you want to create a virtual hard disk, so press create, and you want to continue with next, and you also want to have dynamically allocated selected, and this is where you are going to assign how much hard drive space you want on your virtual machine. With our requirements, we are told to have it set to 30 gigabytes, so then go ahead by pressing create. The second part of the installation is by setting where the virtual machine will access the actual operating system. In this case, we want to access our desktop because that's where we moved it earlier. So this is where we select Fedora Workstation 32-bit, select Open, and go ahead by selecting Start. By pressing Start, we will be prompted by a nice little window with the Virtualbox showing us that it is starting. We are also then prompted with a screen showing us that the automatic boot is happening in 1 minute. So I'll see you then. This will be a good time to explain what the advantages and drawbacks are of allocating more RAM and memory to your virtual machine. So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you add more RAM and memory to your virtual machine, that allows for smoother access of the virtual machine when navigating throughout Linux or whichever operating system you choose to use. And the disadvantages of allocating more memory and RAM to your virtual machine means that you're going to have less hard drive space and RAM on your main host computer when using the virtual machine as well. Once the boot is complete, we will be prompted with a nice little window that says Welcome to Fedora. In our case, we are selecting Install to Hard Drive. We will then be prompted with the language option. In our case, we're selecting English and the Canadian version. Then press Continue. Then we will be sent back to the main screen menu where we will change our time zone. In our case, we are in Toronto, Ontario, so we can click or search Toronto and then go back by pressing Done. Next, we want to select our hard drive that we are going to be downloading it onto, and that is going to be selected under the third menu, and as you can see here, it has been selected, and then press Done to return back to the main screen menu. The last step before beginning the installation is determining our host name. Under the fourth section, we can change our host name by copying and deleting it and setting it. In this case, I named mine Fedora-Antonio. Then we can return back by clicking done. Once that last step is complete, we will be then able to press begin installation. While installation is starting, we are able to do two settings. The first setting is on the left side. On this setting, we are able to set our root password, which is our main administrator password to allow us to use settings. Make sure to set this password as something that would be strong and hard to crack as it is an important password. Then press done to go back to the main screen menu. The second one is to set up user accounts. In this case, I just set up a username with A. Malutin as my first name, first initial, and then last name. And then as a password, I also set it as the same one because you also want your username and password to be just as strong as your administrator one. In this case, once you have completed setting your password, you will press done and wait for the following installation to complete. I will see you once the installation is completed. Once the installation is complete, you will be prompted with a screen like this with a message saying Fedora is successfully installed and ready to use. Go ahead and reboot to start using it with a quit button. Once pressing the quit button, you still do have access to the actual system with all the applications, but it's still safe to reset the system and then to relaunch for best operations. And this completes our tutorial on how to install Fedora 24 workstation on a virtual machine. I hope my clear step-by-step guide has helped you achieve your goal of installing Fedora workstation. And thank you for watching and have a great day. Thank you.